Well, here we are with module 5 of our Mindset Mastery series, which has been delayed a little bit, but we're in summer holiday mode. So, Chris traveling, me traveling, and other stuff happening. And, in Manitoba, Canada, here we get such short summers anyways. So I'm enjoying it. But Chris, it's good to be back on screen with you. So glad to see you, my friend. How has life been in Florida?
Well, life's been busy. I mean, the last 2 weeks I've been in California, so I haven't been in Florida. But yeah, life is busy. Life is good. Teaching new leaders, teaching future leaders, reading, learning. It's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Life's
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
And I see that you are on how many books this year so far? What are you at?
16 now.
Wow, that's impressive. I am not anywhere near that, but and I'm not going to catch up to you. But yeah, leaders
Hey.
are readers, right? Leaders are readers.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, my goal for the year was 12. Right? So I've already surpassed it, but
Oh, good for you.
I'm not giving up or slowing down because I read books that I can learn from, and then I can share that material with others. So what I do is in the classes and courses and I'm doing at Disney, I'm using material from those books as examples and helping others to grow. So that's our purpose. That's what we're all about. And so I'm loving it. It's great.
Amazing. That's great, my friend. Well, tonight we're going to, again, module 5, final session, and we're talking about an entrepreneurial mindset. So learning about this entrepreneurial mindset and nurturing its qualities will, above all, give you confidence to start a new business, develop your existing business, or embark on a new endeavor. Now, folks, there's a lot of noise out there saying you need to be a special breed of person to become an entrepreneur. And many of the characteristics are negative, cutthroat, ruthless, and obsessed with success and money. Well, people are discouraged from starting their own business because they believe the myths of entrepreneurship, in particular, the one that says an entrepreneur is born made. Well, this module that we're going to talk about tonight is about the entrepreneurial mindset, dispel the myths of entrepreneurship, and outline true characteristics of the entrepreneurial mindset that show you how to develop them. Now, there's a few things I want to tell you. First, if you haven't already, stop and go to our Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions Facebook page and download the worksheets that go along with this podcast, YouTube video, wherever you may be watching it. You want to have that action guide with you and ready to take notes and to do the work as we go through this. So we're going to do 2 lessons tonight as we wrap this up, the final 2, and talk about what is an entrepreneurial mindset and then how to nurture that entrepreneurial mindset.
So let's get into this. And I'd say as well, Al, just as an aside, even if you're not looking to be an entrepreneur, right? This mindset is all about you can achieve whatever you want to achieve in life if you put your mind to it. And it reminds me of when back in 2007, I was going for a position of facilitating and teaching and training. And, I didn't get it. And they gave me feedback and, it hurt. However, that was something that I really wanted to do. I could have stopped at that point and said, okay, I'm not good enough, right? I'm not born to be a facilitator, a speaker, and a trainer. But I didn't. What I did is I went and that's when I joined the John Maxwell team. And that's when I went through the coaching and the speaking lanes. And that's when a year later, with your advice, I became a DISC certified consultant. Now I'm living my dream job, teaching leaders of all levels at Disney, right? And then obviously working with you on bars. And so I just want people to think about that and don't switch off just because you say, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to run my own business.
Yeah.
You don't have to. What do you want to do in your life? And then apply this same mindset to that. So
absolutely.
Thoughts on that, Al, before we...
No, I think that's true, right? I mean, all these mindsets that we've talked about through this entire program will help you in business and in personal life. So pay attention and let's grow. Yeah. Let's grow together.
So if find the entrepreneurial mindset, the average person would come up with a list of probably negative and or seemingly unattainable traits, beliefs, and skills. Maybe claiming that an entrepreneurial mindset isn't easy, but it can be claimed. It can be learned. Now, this may sound obvious, but having an entrepreneurial mindset is critical to being successful as an entrepreneur. Many people are in business because they excel at something or they have a good idea. And while that's important, on its own, it's not enough. To Michael Goldsby is a professor of entrepreneurship at Ball State University. And he says, entrepreneurship is fundamentally about seeing its meaning from the world and then figuring out a way to make it better. Great entrepreneurs see problems as opportunities, and the best way to create a successful business is to solve the problems of their customers. I mean, common sense, right? But how many people do it? So before we explore the characteristics of an entrepreneurial mindset, let's take a look at the myths. There are many misconceptions surrounding entrepreneurship. Challenging these myths can be the first step to recognizing what is truly needed to achieve business success.
And Chris, the number one myth about entrepreneurship is that they're born, not made. You either have what it takes or you don't. How many of you have heard that in your life? But many of the misconceptions around the traits of entrepreneurship center around this myth. Yes, there are common skills and attributes that entrepreneurs have, but they can be learned. Even the best ideas need to be well executed and delivered. A successful launch relies on planning, communications, marketing, and more. So many successful business ideas aren't necessarily highly original or cutting edge. They meet basic needs and market demands, or are a variation on businesses that already exist.
Yeah, and some entrepreneurs do this, especially when they're first starting out, but it's not sustainable. Work-life balance is important for everybody, even entrepreneurs. You often read stories about driven, obsessed leaders surviving on 4 hours of sleep, working 18 hours days. This will only lead to burnout and decreased productivity. Successful entrepreneurs take breaks and they excel at delegating and prioritizing. However, to counter the previous point, entrepreneurship isn't all glamour. Laptop on the beach, income stream bliss, despite what you see on social media.
Exactly.
It does require hard work and dedication. Having your own schedule is liberating, but it also comes with a unique set of demands. Your business day isn't over at 5 p.m. and you are ultimately responsible for everything that happens, both positive and negative.
Isn't that the truth? It's 6:02 here, 7:02
Yep.
p.m. there. We're still working. We're doing this podcast right now. Most entrepreneurs don't start businesses to get rich. Yes, that's a byproduct, but they usually have a larger vision that pushes them to succeed. A vision that doesn't have to be altruistic. Entrepreneurs might be driven by the desire to solve a problem, pursue their passion, or share their ideas, or break a record.
Yeah, many people believe that to make it as an entrepreneur, you need to be ruthless and crush anybody who gets in your way. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. Successful entrepreneurship relies on collaboration and communication. If an entrepreneur takes on the role of the evil villain, they will jeopardize relationships with customers, employees, and suppliers. Now, many of these myths dissuade people from even considering entrepreneurship. So, what makes an entrepreneur successful? Well, an entrepreneur is someone who is innovative and a source of new ideas, products, and services. People who have an entrepreneurial mindset identify opportunities and then act on them. Now, the previous mindsets discussed in this course, the growth, abundance, creative, and problem-solving mindsets, are essential to an entrepreneurial mindset.
And Chris, I like this part here, just saying that, how we said at the beginning, this applies to personal life as well, right? People who have this mindset identify opportunities and act on them. How many opportunities come up in your role as an employee or as a father, husband, mother, opportunities that come up that you can act on? Now, people with an entrepreneurial mindset have a broad perspective on problems. They look at the bigger picture and don't get bogged down by details and are able to reach conclusions quickly. An entrepreneur scans the horizon for new information, connects seamlessly unrelated data, and actively avoids stagnation. They're committed to constant progress and improvement. People with an entrepreneurial mindset influence and moderate their own behavior, outlook, mood, and actions and thinking. They are energized by collaboration and interaction, but they don't consistently rely on outside sources to inspire them, motivate them, or hold them accountable.
And entrepreneurs are comfortable spontaneously creating something without preparation. They quickly synthesize information and are willing to test something out in real time. They're not afraid to try and fail in front of people. Their ideas or concepts don't have to be perfectly thought out or organized for them to feel comfortable sharing. Now, this characteristic helps them to manage change, execute a pivot, and take risks. People with an entrepreneurial mindset have a belief in their ability to organize, execute, and succeed in a particular situation. They view challenges as opportunities. They quickly bounce back from setbacks. They manage unexpected issues. They persevere in the face of doubt and difficulties. They focus on progress and they stay calm when other people are losing it. But a personal vision is important for entrepreneurial success. It provides purpose and direction for yourself and for your business. The greatest entrepreneurs don't just want to succeed or make money, they have a powerful why.
Oh man, so important to have that why.
Yeah.
So here's a few key takeaways from part one of our session tonight. Is many people want to become an entrepreneur because they excel at something or have a good idea, but that's not necessarily enough. And people who have an entrepreneurial mindset identify opportunities and then act on them. And the number one myth about entrepreneurs is that they are born, not made. Remember, that's a myth. Now, there's also a few action steps in your action guide. Again, you can find that on Raise Your Bar's Personal Growth Solutions Facebook group, free to download right there. So I would highly recommend that you go do that. I'm not going to read all of these action sets. We're going to head into part two of our lesson tonight.
Yeah, and this is basically how to nurture an entrepreneurial mindset. So developing an entrepreneurial mindset will significantly impact your work and life. It will help you launch a business if you haven't already, and if you want to, right? And reach your highest potential. So again, remember, that doesn't have to be a business. Are you reaching your highest potential in your life otherwise, right? And you cultivating this mindset makes it easier to navigate the challenges of running your own business or leading a team or be manager of an organization, or it helps you to avoid problems altogether.
Exactly. And Chris, if I can interject there for a minute, as somebody who's been in leadership for 35 years, it's really nice to have people on your team that want to start thinking like an owner. So again, even though it's not your own business, start thinking like you do own that business. How would you operate? Would you make the decisions you're making? Would you serve the customers the way you're serving them if this was your own business? And I think it's so important if you can make that shift, because I think it's hard. It's difficult for business owners that want to grow their business to find other people that are willing to come on board and treat it like it's their own business. Too many people are in that employee mindset. I come in, punch the clock, I go home, don't care about anything else. Or if you can take on that ownership mentality, you become, I believe, more valuable to the person that does own or run that business.
Yeah. And I've always adopted that mentality as well. You know, when I was running the car dealerships in the UK and even at Disney now, when we're looking at spending money or organizing trainings or take people out of the business to do trainings or whatever, I look at it as if it was my money. If this was my money, would I spend it on this? If the answer is no, then it shouldn't be spent for the company.
No.
So that's it. That's again, it's something important. And I know we're talking here about entrepreneurs are not made or born the way that it can be learned. And John Maxwell says leaders are not born, right? They can learn that as well. So
yes.
So let's look at some strategies and tactics to develop your entrepreneurial mindset for your business, get results in what you're doing now. So with freedom comes a lack of structure. 9-to-5 jobs will provide schedules, timelines, and expectations. And when you're an entrepreneur or a leader or manager, you have to establish structure for yourself and for your team. The only person keeping you accountable is you. So develop a schedule, a marketing plan, client onboarding process. And if it can be simplified, planned, and automated, do it in advance. There's plenty of online tools like Google Calendar, Time Blocks, or Asana to help schedule your time. Don't let yourself get distracted by busy work. Focus on what's going to generate you revenue and those activities. If you find yourself getting bogged down by admin or tasks outside of your area of expertise, it may be time to hire additional employees, maybe delegate, hire freelancers on sites like Fiverr or Upwork. On the other hand, don't work around the clock or make yourself available 24/7. You need to create structure that makes sense for you and for your business and for your family.
Yes.
And then do it.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, one of the best things I ever did when I started scaling my business was hiring a bookkeeper, then hiring an accountant, and then hiring a virtual assistant, and then even hiring people out to make updates to my website. It's been life-changing for me. So constantly pursue learning and personal growth. I mean, Chris and I do this all the time. Like Chris said at the beginning, he's up to 16 books this year. I'm not that close, but I will be a little bit behind him this year on my book reading. But we're constantly growing ourselves, attending conferences, listening to other podcasts, watching videos, reading books, because we consistently pursue learning and personal growth. And we need to stay on top of industry trends and forecasts, but also look outside of your area of expertise to find new sources of knowledge and inspiration. Set aside time to read these articles and blogs, listen to podcasts, take webinars or courses, or participate in groups or associations within your industry. I downloaded, thanks to John Maxwell, he recommended an app called Flipboard. I use it on my iPad. Every day I get delivered to me articles on topics that I'm interested in: AI, leadership, personal growth and development, psychology, C-suite stuff, just so I can read up and find the articles that interest me. I've also set with an AI program to run a weekly report for me to search the internet for industry trends in the retail industry, bankruptcies, concerns from independent business owners, so on and so forth. And every week it dings my phone and there's my report. It's very, very cool. There's so many great tools out there you can use. Now, many of us were raised not to talk about ourselves or brag, but when you are an entrepreneur, you need to get in the habit of talking about your business. Chance encounters may introduce you to your newest client, collaborator, investor. So prepare that elevator pitch, that fast introduction that covers who you are and what you do, and with a focus on your business. Don't memorize it, but create something compelling, write it down, and remember the key points you want to hit on.
Yeah, it's interesting now because we, in the programs that I teach at Disney, a couple of them, we talk about personal brand. An elevator pitch is one thing, but what's your personal brand? And I often reference Jeff Henderson's book, Know What You're For. And what do you want to be known for and what are you known for? And there's generally a gap, and that's what you got to close. And whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a leader, a manager that wants to rise up the corporate and run a company, even if it's not your own, you've got to have that understanding of who you are. You've got to portray that every day so other people know who you are. And that's how you get things done. And your company may have started with one concept, but market demand or consumer feedback is telling you to upgrade or change. So don't get hung up on your original vision. Oftentimes the business you set out to create isn't the one you end up with. Just look at Facebook. Embrace the growth mindset and constantly innovate. Allowing your product to evolve will keep your enterprise relevant and successful.
Yes. Now, being an entrepreneur comes with a lot of discomfort, financial stress, rejection, failure, anxiety, criticism, doubt, and embarrassment. But if you let your fear of failure or making a fool of yourself win, then you'll limit your entrepreneurial success. You need to get okay with being uncomfortable. Failure can be your best teacher. It clarifies what's working and what doesn't. It helps you grow, adapt, and find new strategies. So place yourself in situations you'd normally avoid to try something new in public, in front of people, or set yourself up to get rejected. Author, blogger, and entrepreneur Jay Jings embarked on a 100-day journey of rejection. I probably said his name wrong, and I apologize, Jay. He realized his fear of rejection was holding him back. So every day he made a request, he knew he would get rejected. Wow, that's brave. Or if you know that your public speaking and communication skills are holding you back, take a public speaking course, raise your virtual hand in conference calls and speak. Take an acting class, volunteer to go on stage during a presentation. Push your limits, get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah. And that's basically what I did, right? Going back all those years to do that as well. An important part of an entrepreneurial mindset is analyzing data, gathering opinions, listening to your intuition, and then making informed, confident decisions. Indecisiveness can destroy a business, resulting in missed opportunities, last-minute moves driven by fear and stagnation. Practice making bold decisions in low-risk situations. No wavering or indecisiveness allowed. Do this when ordering food, choosing movies, deciding on an outing. And this will help you gain confidence when making bigger decisions with more risk involved. Surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. They understand what you're trying to accomplish. They are also a valuable source of knowledge, inspiration, and resources. Find people who are at your current level and share ideas. Also, seek out entrepreneurs who are currently where you want to be, enlisting their help as mentors and advisors. Maybe you join entrepreneur groups on LinkedIn. Reach out to an entrepreneur you admire or take their courses if they offer any. You can also join professional organizations or find online resources that specifically target entrepreneurs. Whether you're a new entrepreneur or you have a number of years under your belt, nurturing an entrepreneurial mindset is essential. Establishing structure, setting goals, prioritizing personal development, embracing discomfort, practicing decisiveness, and finding other entrepreneurs to network with will boost your success and help you get results.
That's so good. So some key takeaways. Remember this, cultivating an entrepreneurial mindset makes it easier to navigate the challenges of running your own business or avoid them altogether. Establishing structure for yourself, prioritize personal development, embrace discomfort and failure, and practice decisiveness. So what are some action steps? Again, I'm just going to read the first one. You can go to your action guide to get all of these from our Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions Facebook group. But if your workday lacks structure, dedicate time and resources to creating a schedule. Research online tools like Google Calendar, Time Blocks, or Asana and see what works best for you. Again, you can read all of these other things at our Facebook group. One thing on here I do want to mention is get out of your comfort zone. Whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee, whatever you're doing, step out of the comfort zone because, folks, that's where everything good happens outside of your comfort zone. Okay. Inside your comfort zone comes stagnation, and with stagnation comes stink, and we don't want to stink. Well, that's a wrap for our Mindset Mastery series, folks. I really hope you got some value out of this. Share it with your family, friends, coworkers. If you're watching this on either of our YouTube channels, please hit that subscribe and notification button. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or any of the other podcast platforms, again, please subscribe. In our next podcast, we're going to be on with Mr. Chris Robinson, who's releasing a brand new book called From Drift to Drive. I happen to have gotten a copy already, holding it up on screen right now if you're watching the video. From Drift to Drive. So Chris Robinson is launching, his book is coming out in September. It is phenomenal. It is a high achiever's guide to breaking the chains of complacency. So you're not going to want to miss our next episode. We're going to have Chris Robinson on, interviewing him about his new book and hearing a little bit of his story. He's a great mentor of ours and has become a great friend. So you'll enjoy that podcast. Chris, any final thoughts as we wrap up Mindset Mastery?
I just think, again, you have the power to achieve anything that you want to. If it means enough to you and you're prepared to put in the work. So the key is really identifying what is it that makes you happy? What is it that and what is your purpose? What is your drive? Right. And again, it's cliched, but people say, what would you do for free? Right. Start thinking about those things. And then it's, well, how can you do that and get paid?
Yeah.
Right. Whether that's somebody else, whether it's for yourself, it doesn't matter. But how can you get those same feelings and emotions of satisfaction and fulfillment and get paid what you need for it? And that really, the golden egg, if you like, in there.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care.